Burger, real slimy.
That guy is so high, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh yeah, grab a little, what you gonna get later? I'm gonna get a lot, okay?
Jeez, go through it going,
Oh my god! Ew!
It's a DUI bar right here, I can tell, right? This is a fucking, bars don't like it. I've talked about DUIs in bars and they're like, shut the fuck up!
Like, I just want to come on someone's face with, like, lemon affection. You know? Like, is that too much for...
For changing lanes on the 294 is, this is the signal for changing lanes on the 294.
Buckingham. I've been doing stand-up about 12 years.
I'm Andrew Procastro. I'm from Chicago.
My name is Panina Beatty.
My name's Tom Ryan.
My name is David Perez.
Eric Pinnell.
Dan McCarty.
My name's Danny Hamill.
Thanks for coming out, everyone. I know you didn't want to.
20 years in the mud, like coming out of the mud a little bit, getting back in the mud, getting out of the mud, getting deeper in the mud, dead in the mud, coming out and stuff. It's always, gas, brake.
The scene here in Chicago is a little bit tougher than New York and LA. In New York and LA, if you go to an open mic and you do like halfway decent, people want to network with you. They'll follow you on Instagram, they'll follow for a follow, add you on Facebook, whatever. Here, people don't want anything to do with you unless you have impressed them beyond a reasonable doubt.
One thing that I love about Chicago comedy is that this is the birthplace of where a lot of world famous comedians get made, but my frustration is that once they have mainstream success, they leave.
The suburb community is also, it's very supportive, and people are of all walks of life are just kind of strolling in like, hey, I've never tried this before. And so it's kind of cool to see people start, you see their first set, and then if they stick around, you get to see what they turn into, and how stand-up even kind of changes them as a person outside of stand-up. That's pretty cool. Seeing growth in stand-up is just it's subtle and it's nuanced, but it's fucking beautiful to see that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Chicago specifically is kind of this unique beast because, pretty much every city of some size has a stand-up scene, but Chicago is kind of unique in the fact that it's all pretty close together. You can get around to pretty much any open mic in the city without that much effort.
The next time I went back to that one, I was like, oh, there's some of the same people here. I got to do all brand new stuff. And I just bombed so hard.
And then I started doing open mics and stuff. But this was back in the day. This is 1995 before the internet, when you had to get the Chicago Reader, looking at all the newspapers. But back then there was only 5 or 6 open mics going around the city. That's when the Southsiders had to go up to the North Side to actually get that paper because it wasn't on the South Side.
This isn't given to you. I tell comics all the time, this ain't a union job. This is you don't have to do this for 20 years. You could pound it hard and put your talent in it and put all your thing together, and you're flying high off of TikTok.
I was born 82, so the kids my age would have been growing up sort of in the shadow of Gen X, We all thought we were going to be, Beavis and Butthead someday.
On and off for about 30 years. I started in November of 1995, and from then on, I've been doing it.
I don't know. I just love it. It's such a good outlet, and I've quit I just stopped doing it for long stretches of times, quarantine and whatnot. And then when I come back to it, one, it's a rush, but also I'm pretty nice and I'm pretty good at following social protocol around like friends and family and stuff, and then this is like the only place where I don't have to do it. I can just be in front of people, say whatever I want. Who cares if it doesn't go well or if I talk too long? You know, it's I guess I feel always a sense of relief after I've done it. So even if I'm not like going anywhere doing it, I think I'm gonna just do it forever because it's therapeutic.
I've only been doing stand-up consistently for about 1.5 years now, even though I've wanted to do it for so long.
I've tried to quit, man. I've been dead, like mentally dead. I just came back. I literally just came back after like 10 months, maybe like 8 months. But mentally I was dead in a ditch, barely breathing with bullets in my back, and I was fine where I was like, done. I can't stop writing things down. And I feel like a failure until I figure this math problem out. That's what it is. And I might not ever figure out the math problem. That's the pathetic thing.
Though I like fast cars, I like slow women, and I like getting high.
He was like, can you cancel a dominatrix? You know what I mean? So I paid her to make fun of me, and she was really mean, guys. Don't go to Mistress, whatever her name is. Hey, have a great night.
Let's see the toilet paper.
Like they have goals when they start out of just like trying to get better at like public speaking. So those people, they last for a little while, and then if they like it, they stick around. And then some people just want to be able to say they did it. I thought I'd be done doing it after a couple times, but then I just did it for 12 years instead. So who knows?
I like adrenaline. I feel like excited, like especially if you're gonna say something that might not go well, you know, or people might not like. It's exciting when it does.
Looking for the laugh in things, you know, every opportunity. It's just growing up, just trying to be silly, trying to get a laugh.
You know, I was really like not outgoing, and so I'm sort of like that, the other type of comedian, like the type that's like the class clown. It's like, no, I was more like the type that like was the class quiet kid.
But I think too, it's in general, I don't like bringing friends and loved ones and stuff to do stand, or it makes it a little less fun because you're trying to like impress them with, hey, look how funny I am, look at, you know what I mean, and then you don't experiment or take chances as much, which is the part that makes it fun, is like, oh, this might go really badly, and then when it doesn't, it's when the rush comes in.
One thing, all right, I'll leave with the story. A lot of people think I've got a nervous twitch. I'm just trying not to become a werewolf, though. That's my only. No, I got a wee little case of the Tourette's, and yeah. Was that a tick, or do you? Yeah. I can't stop supporting people. Yeah.
But for whatever reason that night, I decided to go dark and dirty. And I just like started telling like the worst jokes, and it was just so bad. I was like, I totally misread the room. And the lady's just sitting there like, afterwards she goes, you do have another job, right?
Yeah, riffing is like, like it sounds. You're kind of just like making something up on the spot. A lot of comics like have sort of like fake riffs where they kind of like make it sound like they're inventing it on the spot, but it's actually something they've done quite a few times. But like a genuine riff is just sort of like, something happens in the room, you make a comment on it, somebody says something, you play off of that.
I was a pretty Jewy Jew.
Listen, I will tell you exactly what doing comedy in my mind is. This is like being a magician, and you got to go in a whole room of other magicians,
I agree.
and you got to show them a card trick that they already know, and then wow them.
And I didn't start actually applying to get booked on anything until I started approaching the second year. I spent that first year of just going solo by myself from mic to mic to mic in the trenches, putting in the work, just trying to earn the respect of my peers, people around me, I'm getting there, and now I do get booked.
But an open mic is not the same as a live show.
So I started on my 31st birthday is when I consider, like, that's when I started really hitting it.
I write a lot about my thoughts. I criticize a lot of things, or like I I think about a lot of things. I just have certain thoughts and opinions, a lot of complaints, or like there's certain topics that I like to talk about a lot. And like I'm a visual artist, I'm an educator. I have a lot of opinions on things like those. I have a lot of stories, personal stories. I like playing around with words, the meaning behind them. So for me, it's really important to like write it out. I've become much more of a writer in the last few months.
I mean, I got on America's Got Talent. Yeah, like I was the bicycle comedian for like a year, something like that. I mean, I didn't start doing it to get on TV, but I was just, you know, like I say, I experiment. You know, it seemed like a good idea to go up with a bike helmet and do jokes strictly about bicycles. And so, yeah, like I sent me another with also some jokes about Simon Cowell. I guess Simon Cowell broke his back in a bike accident, and so I don't know. I assume she wanted to capitalize on that somehow.
Give me a break! Give me a break! It's been a rough week, okay? This guy tried to sell me a stolen bike. I'm like, hey, no pedaling. It's over. Ah, these are top-notch bike jokes.
Oh, your thing is bad jokes.
No, bike jokes.
We still have to vote, but I know it's gonna be no.
You know, like I got to start getting into the clubs and petitioning like Zanies and Laugh Factory Comedy Bar, doing those and trying to get, you know, on showcases a lot more often. But, you know, as far as where I'm at right now with the work that I've put in, I'm very happy with that.
My comedy, I'm pretty morbid. I'm a little bit morbid. I'm just like 10 years and I'm punching out. 10 years and I'm punching out. It's like as soon as that one gets into freshman year of college, I'm out of here. I hate this rock. But yeah, no, I don't know if I mean that or not. I'm very still on the fence, you know?
You'll give up comedy for like a $50,000 a year job because you've been broke for 9 years, and then they throw you that in a 401k and some health benefits, and you go, I'm done a little bit. I'm not going to try to get dates, or I'm not going to, you know, work hard and mic it and showcase it and just on the move. And then you'll see people that are on the move, and then boom, they move out to like a higher atmosphere, and then 20 years later, it's not like I've been working every day 8 hours a day for 20 years, because when people hear 20 years, they go, well, you must really suck. Why aren't you out of the mud? It's like, yeah, because I'm an idiot. That's why I'm an idiot. You know,
life takes you sideways. And so I just ended up working too many jobs all the time. And so when the opportunity came and I found myself where it was just kind of parallel to this field of a creativity that I already have, I just jumped right into it, and it's just been working for me. I will be doing comedy or writing in some form or another for the rest of my life, no matter what, in any capacity.
No, I just do it because I love it. Like I'm not an adrenaline junkie, really. I don't like need to fucking do a backflip on a cliff to feel alive or something. I don't need to jump out of an airplane to feel alive. I kind of just I love how I feel when I'm on stage and I get a laugh. Like when you can make a whole room laugh, that it's like it fills you up, you know, and it's just it's addicting, like we were talking about. And so it's just,
I can't tell you how many times I've bombed the set that I aced at the actual showcase, and it works out. You know, if you don't take those hits, it's like you don't get better.
Yeah, it's something that, and again, like I feel like I've never been able to take things seriously. Other jobs have never been like fulfilling to me. The only thing that I really love to do is comedy.
I mean, there are regrets, but comedy's not easy. Like, it's easy for some people. It's never been easy for me, like ever. And I know a lot of people could say that, where it's like, oh, you think it's... No, it's never been easy. You know, comics, they run from me. Like, I've always been too dirty. Like where it's too dirty, and I'm white trash. Like all my family they don't like me saying this, but they're all white trash. You know what I'm saying? They're all, like, my mom will go, why are you so dirty? It's like, you've been popping pills for 25 years, and you say the F word every 8 words. What are you talking about? Like, why am I so dirty? I grew up around trash. You know, in a good way. Like, I'm like, this is who I am.
But as a whole, I would say most people are really good, really great, good performers, good laughs, and they put a lot into their craft.
But yeah, I try to do at least 3 to 4 a week, you know, just to like keep the muscle exercised.
Akron, Ohio. I came to Chicago in 2005. I was in New York for about a year and a half. I learned how to open mic there. I was terrible. And came to Chicago at the end of 2005. Learned how to, you know, it's a good development town. And bumped around Chicago. And then eventually I ran into my Mexican wife. And I stayed.
Yeah, you're trading your self-esteem for success. And it works.
My boss, he's great. He always talks, he's like, I know you've got your comedy career to worry about. And I'm always like, you called it a career. Like that is I will be with you forever until, but like they're super supportive. It's like, hey, I can't wait until you quit to go do comedy. You know, but until then we're gonna enjoy having you around.
And I've seen them come and go. I've seen them all come and go. Like I've seen hitters come and go and move to LA and they become big stars, you know, and it's you know, it's nice to see. You know, it's nice when you see people like fly away and you go fly away, little bird, go fly away. And now look at you. But it's like, you know, after a while, it's fucking depressing.
If they don't like you, they don't like you. If they love me, they love me. And if they don't love me anyway, I'd be like,
Papa Jerk himself. Let's get nice, fucking loud, very funny. DJ Rabbit. Give it up for Dick McCarty, everybody. Give it up for me.
I got down on one knee and I said, will you rent with me?
I mean, everybody wants to make a living. Everybody wants to make money. And then when I was younger, we'd be like, why is that guy making money? Why am I not making money? You have to learn how to do comedy. You know, what the audience wants. It's an art form. It's a craft that you have to learn. And it's really about self-discovery, discovering about yourself. So you get in it because this is what you want to do. As you can tell with inflation, no matter how much money you make, everything will always cost more. So, you know, doing comedy is personal for your personal growth. If you think about, I want to make money about it, go be a stockbroker, go be a real estate agent, you know, because comedians are different type of people. So I mean, that's why this is just about art.
But I think a lot of the racial stuff that I hear at like open mics especially, it's just lazy, you know, and it's the kind of jokes that you've been hearing your whole life. And it's like, all right, now that you got a microphone, it's like, how many times can you sit through and be like, listen to, oh yeah, Hitler's a real bad guy, but what if he worked at McDonald's?
Nice. Oh, you're fucking good at that shit, man. Roll pro.
Jesus Christ. This is like a fucking White Castle waiting lobby in here today. My mother was furious.
Well, you ever see a woman piss when they gotta go when they're drunk? It doesn't come out like a little baby deer. It comes out hard like a fucking laser from outer space or something, you know? It's like one of those SpaceX rockets coming to Earth and shit, just like
I mean, the thing is to me, I never write nothing down. I never have and I never will. I want to be a George Carlin type of character.
I'm recently single. It's been just a couple weeks since we broke up. My relationship was on the rocks, so we decided to try an open relationship, and then we broke up the next day. So it was more like an open and shut relationship.
They got so many goddamn trophies, they're fucking nailing them to the ceiling. That's ridiculous right there. That's how they ran out of fucking shelves. They go, where are we gonna put them? Fucking just bolt them to the ceiling. Let them know.
All right, baby. Lay down. Good girl.
When Luke went to the Digger system.
And he's like, I can't believe you say these things in public. And I was like, to a lot of them at once. And he's like, oh my God. He thinks it's fun. My family is a fan of it. They love that I do this.
I would tour with any comic. Yeah. Bill Cosby. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like growing up in a big family, like you gotta be funny. You know, our family dynamics is like, you know, we're very loud.
The famous guy, at least, like has an extra, 30 seconds right up top where like the audience knows them from TV or something like that. So they've got like just a little bit of like, leeway.
But, I heard an atheist joke the other day and I didn't get it. So I prayed to God to explain it to me.
Like white people, you guys need to go touch grass with like black people. Like I don't know, try to make the bond. I feel like white people are like dogs. Like if you don't introduce dogs to black people when they're puppies.
Anybody in here ever gotten so drunk you had to call in sick to work?
Yes.
On your day off?
Sorry, I fucked it up.
But I got bad penmanship. I got socks and flops on. I'm ready to fucking rock and roll. So thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Honey, this is simple 5th grade math.
I stopped doing comedy for a while. I took a break. I found a different hobby. It's called having sex. That's right.
Who's got a gay name in here? Anybody got a gay name?
Some people are wonderful writers. Some people are wonderful performers. Some people are amazing in the digital communities. They have large followings. You know what I'm saying? Some people are fantastic at clean comedy. Some people are fantastic at blue comedy. I'm dark. I'm not sure if it's pretty blue. I cuss a lot. I swear I'm a cusser. But I mean, there's so many areas that you could fall into. You just never know which one you're going to be super passionate about. So do all of them.
I can't blame anybody else for my set. Every single time I get up, I kind of just got to deal with whatever circumstances I'm handed. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, is sort of like, buy yourself that much more likability. And, that's kind of like the difference between like a famous comic and somebody who's just sort of like a good amateur.
Hey, I'm like, hey, you already know I'm doing it. I'm a virgin for a year and a half.
They'd be like, Mom, why'd you give the cornbread to the gangly Gary Busey guy?
God forbid you talk about improv when you're talking about stand-up.
Like I say, nothing truly leads to the next thing, All you can really do is keep doing it.
So being able to network appropriately is probably the most important thing here. It's almost secondary to having actual talent or capability.
You gotta be delusional.
Yeah.
You kind of gotta be delusional to do comedy. Like, you gotta tell yourself. I told my wife the other day, I told her today where I think I'm ready to like go to a higher altitude with comedy. And she's fucking cooking lunch and she does a face like, yeah, right. Because I've been telling her that version of that probably for 16 years here and there. Not every day. I haven't said what I said to her like that in probably like 6 years. But I'm feeling it differently now. I've been doing it 20 years and I've been in the mud, so of course you pick up some skill set, but I've seen her face where I go, oh, thanks for the confidence, But it's you got to be delusional.
You go up there and you think you got a funny joke, and then you tell it a couple times and you're like, oh, that's not funny.
Doors open on the right at Belmont.
That's even crazy to some people where they, you meet people and they go, you're doing comedy, and they don't understand like, well, how do you get paid? And you tell them the numbers at first, like whatever, and they look at you like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Like rehearsing your material for the crowd, like you really have to be there and you have to like make everyone feel it. You have to feel like you can't just phone it in or whatever when you're in the city, And so I think comics in the city have that advantage because they're constantly surrounded by that, and there's so many amazing comics in the city that it because I did a roast battle one time, and I just being surrounded by those guys is so like their minds are so quick, and it's very inspiring to be able to like see how they work.
So the people I know who tour with Louis is I hear it's like inspiring, like he's so into comedy, you know what I mean? Like it's his ultimate. But all the advice that they get, and then I ask like, oh, what did he say? And they tell me, it always depresses me. It's all about like not wasting your life and just like spending more time working and less time like, partying or whatever.
A premise and then a punchline, and I'm so excited about my little punchline, you know, but then it's like, yeah, sure, it gets a laugh, but then I go and I see these guys in the city, and they have premise, punchline, 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 and it's just like eruption of laughter because like they just build on it and just keep they milk every joke for what it's, you know, anything they can get out of it, and it's just really cool to see. So I kind of look at my own writing like, maybe I need more than one punchline, you know, maybe, you know, and so it's just really cool.
So I used to host a mic here. It was called The Riff, and you just draw a topic out of a hat, and then you do like 5 minutes off whatever that topic is, and then after I was done, I'd always be like, oh, you know what I should have said, and then I'd just hit another mic right after and just be like, you know, well, I'm gonna, you know, just do that now and see how that goes.
I can't blame anybody else for my set. Every single time I get up, I kind of just gotta deal with whatever circumstances I'm handed. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, is sort of like, you know, buy yourself that much more likability. And, you know, that's kind of like the difference between like a famous comic and somebody who's just sort of like a good amateur.
I mean, I grew up on the west side of Chicago. Like, everybody in my neighborhood was a pervert. That's why you ran to your bus stop and you ran straight home.
I'm sure I got friends or cousins or what. They're like, you're an old man. You're an old man. You see who the hitters now, these and nothing against them. You see all the social media guys, they're like 25. They're like 23. They're 19. I'm 47.
You know, you look at like successful touring comics, many of them are have, you know, done that grind and, you know, toured and just cultivated their stand-up and their online presence and all that. And then also there's many who become recognized for other things, and then they do stand up as their special. So
if I go to a live show, panties are dropping. They're telling me my wife is hilarious. And then I show them, I'm not married, motherfucker. It's all made up. It's a joke.
Right. Yeah.
It's not real, right? It's not real, but they don't know. They don't know because everybody's so straight-laced and they're stuck in their Facebooky and their TikTokies and their snappy chatties that they can't figure, oh, shit.
You know what? You know how people say there's an element of truth to every joke? That's not how I would word it. I would say more like there's an element of reality in every joke, but it's satirical, it's parodious, it's not necessarily true. Right. You know what I mean? Like me making my like gangster impressions of the Round Lake area. Right. Everybody knows what that means. I mean, like, it's a Round Lake, you know, like, but it's just like I'm not making fun of those people.
My grandpa would say simple stuff like, oh, look at this hot weather, right? He would say, he was old school, you know, when the weather's hot and sultry, that's no time to commit adultery. You know? You made 7 people laugh out of 30. You made another 7 people laugh the next time that these were like, ah. And then you get the whole room to laugh on Billy's fat. You know, like this, right?
Yeah. No, I said Billy's racist. Everybody loved that shit.
Well, there you go. Listen, my daughter went up, and she, for the only time she went up, and she's on my Facebook, on my stack, on my face wall, like whatever, the picture, saying, whatever they call it, the profile picture, going, she just ripped me apart for 10 minutes on a whole bunch of shit you guys don't even know about me, and then called me fat. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't be fat and shit? Like, I pay the bills, motherfucker. What's up? I'm gonna eat good. Fuck you. So yeah, no, it was a good time, and it's cool. Like, everybody should be able to be a target, and I'm always cool. Everybody rail me, talk shit, do whatever you want.
You gotta roast each other. You gotta be comfortable with it. I called him Boomhauer. He loved that shit.
Yeah, I'm down with it, man. The thing is, you know, they call me like when I was...
Call me Gorbachev.
Yeah.
That mic was like every Monday, so the goal was every week I want to have a new bit or a new joke every week. And usually it stemmed from either what I talked about or I saw someone else do their topic and I'm like, what they should have talked about was this. It's like, well, why don't I try doing that? You know what I mean? And sometimes that turns into a new joke. Sometimes I just call my mom, and then I just say whatever she said on stage too.
She said even if you like pop or become a big success, I still wouldn't be happy. You know, she says that, and I don't know, but yeah, it's. I understand why a 60-year-old still doing it.
Dangerfield was in his 40s when he.
I think he was like 47. Not comparing it to me at all. I mean, obviously, but yeah, he went and sold aluminum siding and raised his kid, and then he comes back and he's a hitter. I mean, that's a great story. I mean, that story like that is probably. So many other comics have gotten divorces because of that, where it's like me, where it's like, no, I'm coming strong, honey, and my wife's packing her bags like, you're a fucking loser, you know, like that's probably, but yeah.
If younger self could see you now, she would have tried to kill herself a lot harder. I would definitely.
Well, we got some footage of me very drunk for this film on Tuesday, and I had a beard and 12-inch hair, and I thought it'd be funny to slice them together. I made sure to wear the same shirt and pants, so hopefully it looks great on camera. Folks, it says in the Bible that Jesus died when he was 33 years old, and I'm 34, so I think it's good that he died at 33, because I can't imagine still trying to change the world, you know?
Yeah, okay, I feel like I had a lot to talk about now. I'm just out of ideas after. No, it's fine.
What am I supposed to do now? Like, there's
What if I bomb, what if I bomb and...
And he said, yeah, Dad, is there another secret I should know?
Or should I order a shakaroni pizza from Papa John's?
Agnostics are like cowardly atheists.
See me heal anyone. The only thing I can do is sit on his face.
Not Mr. Green Jeans, what's the one? Captain Kangaroo. I was really into that, and like Sesame Street, the way they would have like different sketches and stuff on that, Bert and Ernie, that's pretty much like a sketch show. I kind of like always like approach it like, oh, it's my time up there for an open mic at least. Like, it's your time. You should just do whatever you feel like, Pretty much whenever I have an idea and I haven't seen somebody else do it before, I feel like compelled to do it. I feel like I have to.
Sometimes when you think that you got things right and then you don't have things right, and the things you think that you're right but you're actually wrong because you're thinking you're right but it's not right.
It's like you have to take chances and you have to suck a little bit if you're gonna get better.
Whenever I have to make a serious decision, I make a quesadilla. No, I'm kidding. No, that's not what I'm doing.
But it's always, it's open. Just book me. I'll do whatever you want me to do. So, but then you gotta like flirt with them, like, oh, I'm available, these weekends. It's like as if I'm not available every weekend, or I wouldn't cancel my plans to do your fucking show.
No, booking the shows, like booking shows and people, whatever comedy clubs. I've canceled on comedy clubs. I've left featuring at comedy clubs. That's the death. Don't do that. Don't do that. When you're featuring at a comedy club and Friday don't go well, and you're taking a Greyhound from Milwaukee back to Chicago at like 1 a.m. and you're just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. And it's like, I'm a bitch and I'm a little pussy. I'm going to go and fuck comedy. And it's like, you're an idiot. Stupid.
Comics judge how good they are based off the reaction from the audience. So it's hard. People will send likes or dislikes or LOL, but it's comedy's theater. You need the audience because you have to bring them in, because the show is not just about you. When you get good at comedy, you realize the show is not just about you, it's about everybody. You have to make them feel like they're funny. And sometimes we as comedians go up and they're like, well, how about they're laughing? They're not laughing. And you're like, well, you didn't bring them in. I mean, they'll laugh, but you have to also respect the audience too. Because it's just like, hey, you tell a joke, but you got to be entertaining. You got to put on a presentation performance, and you got to bring the audience in with you. But that's one thing I learned over the 30 years of doing it, But somebody could tell you that when you're younger, but you don't comprehend it. But you got to learn it yourself.
But that's it. Another thing is, you got to be delusional. It's an emotional. You want, and then you get, and you go, this isn't even like exactly what I don't want. This is not what I pictured, and you're, dude, I've gone to Detroit and the feature in 2010, you go there and there's 4 people in the audience, and on a Thursday night, and you're like, I got to do 35 minutes in front of 2 bikers and 2 of the oldest people I've ever seen at a comedy show. And that's the stuff that's just like, fucking life is just, and that's, but that's it.
Whereas like if you got like bad host or bad opener, then all of a sudden like, the crowd is, apprehensive to stand up, and you got to go up there and you got to like win them over.
Just kind of trying to like hit the beats. All right, if I'm going to do this one into that one, how can I like tie it in? Because I like to have my jokes like have like a flow to it, right? So I'm going to start here. I'm going A to B to C to D, right? And it's like, how do I make that all kind of work?
Yeah. It's frustrating. It's like a drug, and it's also it's what I wanted to do since I was like 10. I'm 47, dude. I should have figured out this math problem by now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit dark, and it's fun for me. Like, I would like to work cleaner, but everything I have to say is pretty much inappropriate. So there's very few sets that I can allow my son, who's 14, to listen to, because I will be judged. But the stuff that I have been able to let him listen to, he thinks is hilarious.
Dude, I know some of the funniest comics in the world that did the same thing that I do, where it's like, hey, they give you a $45,000 a year job, and you drop everything. It's pathetic, but 401ks, man, don't make you quit your dream like that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess it was about getting into arguments with people over comedy. So that's that's true. I'd say that people have changed a lot because I've been doing it for a while. Because it used to be like, if you go to an open mic, there'd be like 15 people on the list, and you'd be like, oh man, this is a huge list. And now 15 people is like a light list, and there's like, 40 or something if you go out most nights. That's like a low, like 40 is, I guess, average.
The secret sauce, like the more leeway the audience is willing to give you, generally the better time you're going to have up there.
As there's sort of this kind of semi-homeless guy that would do open mics and comedy and stuff like that, and he did an open mic at the Laugh Factory. It's like a big club, and the way they were doing it was like, you draw your name out of the bucket, and then you get to go in like the middle of the show, like all the headliners and stuff. And he got drawn, and I was like, oh dude, I'm so excited to see. He like has a shopping cart with him all the time, and he kind of collects trash, and he uses that as his props to do. Like, he had a bit about like, I hope nobody thinks I'm a serial killer, and he throws a cereal box at like, some dude in the crowd or something like that. So I've seen him do that stuff at open mics all the time, and now it's like, oh, he's at a Laugh Factory. I'm kind of excited to see this child rapist, and he throws the cereal box at the crowd. And you just see everyone horrified, like the whole. So that's my favorite comedian, man. That was the best set I ever saw.
Just like have seen themselves on TV like for so long and are like, oh yeah, I could do that, no problem. And then, it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. And then you have a woman come up and they're like, and I mean, there's many women comics who are also bad at comedy.
I'm going to be the best I can be personally inside and out and be whole. You know what I'm saying? People are too fake. I'm not fake.
Don't you just see like a giant bullet?
Now it's been 4 years of that, and I'm very happy with the decision to get into it and to keep it going. And the only thing I wish I'd have started sooner, because I'd love to be 8 years into it at this point instead of 4 years. But what are you gonna do?
Bombing humbles you, makes you appreciate the business, appreciate the art form. Humility works for stand-up especially. You can't be good at stand-up until you have humility, because you're not better than the audience, and they'll sniff that out if they think you're better than them. Then you're not, you have to relate. You have to relate by having humility.
You're flying. Dude, there's people now. I'll talk to comics now, because it was different. Like, even when I started 20 years ago, like, that was a different thing. Now, I talk to comics where they're like, if I can just get one TikTok to go viral, boom. And they're right. They're right. They're just trying to get a TikTok and Instagram, and they're right. I'm not right. They're right. Nowadays, the game's changed. People are just trying to get one video, and next thing you know, I assume their calendar's filling up.
I'm just a little bummed out about how he caused Putin to invade Ukraine. Yeah, that one song he was like, Cry me a river, cry me a river. Putin, listen to that. 10 years later, he takes Crimea River.
Seinfeld could get up there, but he's like terrible for the first like minute. Then they're, all of a sudden like, oh, I thought I liked Seinfeld, And even with him, that's like with 30 years of TV and movies and like all this stuff and like other stand-up.
Dude,
but yeah.
When I first started hitting comedy clubs, like even just put my eyes in there and seeing what the game is and stuff, there were comics that were touring for 30 years with almost the same set for like 25 years. They would add a joke here and stuff like that, and murdering. They would go to different towns and murder, and they'd have the same. Now, you ain't doing that. Nobody's doing the same set for 20. Who's doing the same set from this point on for the next 25 years? Unless they're not on that camera, they're not doing that, right?
If other animals had tits, that's what we would bring up right away. Like, you see the tits on that Labrador, dude? That dog's got fake tits.
The key is to just find your comfort on stage, find a way to be confident and just like yourself. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld that said like the closer you are to yourself when you're on stage, the happier you're gonna be and the funnier you're gonna be, and if you're having a good time on stage, people are having a good time watching you. So it's all about like actually feeling it. You can't just have jokes, you gotta have energy, you gotta wanna be there. And yeah, so you just kind of have to like find your essence, because some people are like, I'm funny with my friends, but then it doesn't translate on stage. And so it's like, it doesn't mean you're not funny. It doesn't mean you're not a comedian. It just means like you have a lot of work to do in figuring out what makes you funny, harnessing that, and being able to just like control it and pick it up wherever you want to.
But dude, it's also, not to be cliche, it's the journey. It is all that. It is all that, but eventually you want what everybody else is kind of, you're like, I want to do that. I want to be on all the best podcasts. I want to be on I don't think like Netflix and stuff like that, but it's like, I want arenas. I want theater. I want every comedy club. I want that. But guess what? Those guys figured out the math problem. This guy hasn't figured out the math problem.
Got down on one knee and I said, will you rent with me?